Hi everybody. I'm just gonna kind of wait and see as people join. Still building an audience, and then I'm gonna talk a little bit about some of my columns for this week. And you guys can ask questions as long as they're relevant questions. I will answer relevant questions. Hi everybody. Good to see you. Happy Friday. So yeah, as usual, I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the stories I wrote over the week. I think I'm going to start at the beginning of the week, and you guys can ask questions if you want. The first one I wrote this week was about the controversy over the dumbest thing ever, where, Wonder Woman, people are saying that Wonder Woman should have armpit hair because a strong feminist woman wouldn't be worried about the patriarchal beauty standards of having to shave your armpit hair. And no, she shouldn't, because here's the thing. It's not even really an issue of whether Wonder Woman should or should not have armpit hair, because Wonder Woman's already been around since 1941. This is not a new character. This is not a movie about a new character. It's she's been around for a while, and you can see her like this and like doing stuff in the cartoons. And guess what? She does not have armpit hair. It's been decided. If you don't like that, then like create your own character. Create your own super feminist, very, very hairy character if you want. It's not what it's about. Um, how's your Friday? Good. Working. Always working. And Wonder Woman also. I mean, she's amazing. Like, her hair always looks perfect, even when she's fighting and battles. And, so if somebody who is that focused on her hair, like, I tie my hair back if I'm going to do anything. Like, even if I do some sit-ups in my apartment, which I call working out, then I tie my hair back. She doesn't tie it back. She needs to leave it long. She won't be seen without long, like perfectly curled hair. So if you're that devoted to your appearance and if that's important to you, that's okay. That's totally good for you. But if you're somebody who's going to pay that much attention to your hair, you're probably not going to wear a sleeveless thing without shaving your pits. So, okay. That's that. Let's see. What did I talk about next? Oh, this one was, well, they're all pretty sad, but so this was the columnist in Australia who wrote sincerely that it should be illegal for anyone to be a stay-at-home mom if they have school-aged kids. It should be completely illegal. You should have to go to work. The only way to have an equal participation in the workforce is to force men and women to both work. And this lady, Sarah Lamarckand, is serious about this. She's not joking. She's serious about this. First of all, just because your kids are in school doesn't mean that there's nothing for you to do for the family. You can get involved at the kids' school. First of all, you can homeschool. I was homeschooled for 2 years, and my dad was able to teach me, it wasn't my mom, but my dad, he worked from home, and he was able to teach me math in a way that I wasn't really learning very well in school with math. And it allowed me to pursue English, which I was really good at. I was really good at languages, and it allowed me to learn things at a higher level. And it allowed me to also do theater and all kinds of things that I wouldn't have been able to do. But, both parents working, even if the kids are in school, there's other things to do at home. There's, I don't know if there's cooking, helping with extracurricular activities that you just couldn't do if there wasn't a job. And then, of course, the most important part being, it's absolutely none of your business. It's absolutely none of your business. And you should have the freedom to do that. If you talk about equality in the workplace, and if you talk about equal participation in the workplace, in a sense, they're already equal because men and women already have the equal, exact same chance or exact same choice. They have an equal, exact same choice to decide whether they want to participate or not. That's equality to me, and you get to actually choose things, which is absolutely, it's just great. Right, so I'm going to move on to it. If you have questions, of course, you can let me know. But keeping them appropriate would be great. Yeah, Kimberly, I'm a stay-at-home mom. My daughter has Asperger's, so I need to be available. I didn't even think of that. That's a really good point. That's a really good point. So if you had a situation where your child needed you at home like that, if she's school age, technically that'd be illegal. How would the government go about enforcing that? Probably more forms. You have to fill out more forms and they, have to verify whether that was really true, and you'd have to go through all this stuff as if you're not already dealing with a situation that, it presents more difficulties than, like, that's absurd. That's absolutely absurd. Or they could do that, or they could just trust you that it's best for your kids and for your own family better than a government does, which it's absurd just how many people can't grasp that idea. Families spend a lot more time around each other than a government spends with a family. So usually those families know a little bit better about what's best for them. So this one was about a college diversity council, like Gustavus Adolphus College. It was a diversity council and then a social justice theater troupe, whatever that means, wouldn't want to go. And a bystander group, they posted fake racist flyers on campus themselves. The flyer said, I'm going to read off my paper, "A notice to all white Americans. It is your civic duty to report any and all illegal aliens to U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. They are criminals. America is a white nation." Okay. Saying America is a white nation is obviously an incredibly racist thing to say. So people went nuts. People, students were upset, alumni were upset. I'm sure students on campus who were not white would feel terrified by this, and they would feel threatened by this. And it turned out that these groups just posted these flyers on their own to try to start a conversation about the kind of racism that's occurring around the world, and particularly not the world, the country, and around campus, specifically around campus. My idea is that if you want to bring awareness and start a discussion about racism that's occurring on campus, you should probably talk about the actual racism that's actually occurring on campus, rather than make up some fake, fanciful story. Because in order to solve, it's not going to solve anything. Because in order to solve a problem, here's a little tip in problem solving. If you want to solve a problem, the problem actually has to exist first in order to solve it. I know that might blow your mind, all right, but it's just the way it is. And the level of racism, I don't know what's going on that campus. I've never been there. I don't know what kind of bias incidents are occurring. But I do know that there are people who so strongly believe that America should be for white people only that they're running around posting flyers on campus. That's a whole different level than whatever may have been occurring on the campus, which means that those conversations that would be related would be on a whole different level too. So it wouldn't be the kind of conversation that's necessary. So say that somebody wanted to bring awareness to rape culture by posting a bunch of flyers around the campus that said, "Rape is awesome." And they were fake, obviously. Someone did this to bring... Do you think that somebody who is an actual victim of assault, the fact that these flyers were out there would help that person? Do you think that making a joke of it or making a farce or doing a little theater is the best way to get people to take you more seriously? That's absurd. The best way to dismiss your cause is to, in the name of your cause, do something that people have to dismiss because it's a hoax. If anything else similar to this does happen on that campus, the first thing that people think about is not going to be, oh, and want to help. It's going to be like, oh, really? I remember last time when it turned out to be a hoax. And that's just how it works. These people are hurting themselves more than they're helping themselves. And again, I'm going to talk about my column for today. Got one more here. Michael, what an airhead. Is that me? Would you come on my Facebook Live just to call me an airhead? Michael, Nicolette? That's funny. That's an interesting life choice. I would rather decide to use my time to create things and work and get things done. I can't imagine what kind of life you must lead to spend your time on a Friday evening going on to some stranger's Facebook Live and calling her an airhead. I really hope that you get hobbies. I really hope that you find some friends, because this is just a really sad situation for you. I feel sorry for you. All right, I'm going to continue. So, this is about a mother who's claiming that her 4-year-old son was suspended from school because he brought a shell casing. 4 years old to his preschool. 4. And they said that if he continued to show an interest in guns, then he would be expelled. Now, the vice principal also told a local news source, this was in Illinois, that this mother said that the principal actually emailed her to say that they were calling child services over this, because child services isn't already overworked. They're calling them over this. The vice principal told the local news source that there were other issues other than the shell casing for the reason for this 4-year-old's 7-day suspension. First of all, though, I kind of call BS on that, because if you're the kind of school where you're threatening to expel, if this is true, that they're threatening to expel this kid, my pick for the Stanley Cup is always the Detroit Red Wings, where they're threatening to expel this kid over showing an interest in guns, then it seems pretty plausible that you would actually suspend the kid for just bringing a casing. If you're saying, hey, we might expel you if you keep showing an interest in guns, then yeah, that means that you probably did suspend him just for the shell casing thing, and you probably just kind of backtracked and you got all the bad media attention over it. And another thing, what kind of other behavioral issues could this 4-year-old have been engaged in that would have warranted expulsion? Because as far as I'm concerned, what I've always heard about preschool classrooms is that they're just behavioral nightmares in general. Like, they're full of 4-year-olds. That's why, I mean, 4-year-olds hit each other. I think I was probably still biting when I was 4. They're just barely potty trained. They scream. They wipe their boogers all over themselves and all over each other. They're 4-year-olds. So if you're going to tell me, yeah, well, the 4-year-old preschool kid had some behavior problems, yeah, that's what preschool is, dude. I don't care what else was going on, okay? I don't care what else was going on. But these are kids who are at a level of maturity where, you know, they were just potty trained. They still have several years left in them of, like, leaving cookies for Santa. I think that this level of action, regardless of whatever BS happened other than the casing, it's really, really hard to justify that. Really, really hard. I can't think of a single reason. He's 4, and he had been doing gun education, safety train, like with his grandpa, who's a police officer, and must have just picked it up off the floor and thought, oh, this is cool, and brought it to school. And then they just throw him out, like, because he picked up something off the floor. Oh, and then also, by the way, a shell casing, not really a weapon, you know, not really a weapon. So, really absurd all around. That's pretty much all that I have for right now. If anybody has any questions, all of these columns are my ones from National Review this week, so you can go to National Review online and you can read all those, and then you can also follow me on Twitter. I post everything on Twitter when I write it at Timpf. Although right now a lot of my Twitter is about my cat Sheens, because he's competing in March Meowedness, which is a competition that benefits an organization which my coworker on the Gutfeld show, our producer, he runs Cats versus Cancer. So he's in the running. He's in the Sweet 16 right now, trying to move to the Elite 8 against a cat named Mick. So if anybody wants to go to my Twitter, click the link and vote for Sheens, that would be awesome too. All right. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you everybody for joining in and for reading and following me. You guys are all the best. I really, really appreciate it. Have a good weekend. Bye.